Well, that was the biggest surprise of 2019. So Child's Play is the remake of the late 80s classic that originally starred Brad Dourif as the doll possessed by a serial killer, and this one is significantly different. This follows a boy named Andy and his mom, played by Audrey Plaza, and they have recently moved and he's having trouble fitting in. He has a disability, he is hard of hearing, and doesn't really fit in with the kids his age. So his mom gets him this doll, and this doll named Chucky has sort of an AI and can connect to stuff like it's essentially like Alexa and Google Home, but where it can connect to like the TV, your phone, and all sorts of other electronics. And the AI system has a way of sort of learning and generally wants to be his friend, and the doll has sort of a personality of its own. And of course, the doll eventually starts malfunctioning and things start going really, really badly. And that's the basic plot of the film. However, I was not expecting how emotionally invested I would get into this story, because this version of Chucky is significantly different from the original. The new version, Chucky is an AI. So that's going to piss a lot of people, and that might piss a lot of people off. So in a lot of ways, this version of Chucky is sort of like a newborn, and he actually has a disability of his own where his chip and computer programming is kind of damaged, and he even has this little stutter, and that's really how Chucky and Andy kind of start to bond at first, because Chucky's like, I'm broken and you're broken too, and they actually become really good friends. And I got emotionally invested. I was surprised how emotionally invested I was in this movie, because I knew eventually that things would start to go really, really bad, because at first Chucky doesn't really know the difference between right and wrong. There's a lot of similarities to the Iron Giant, an animated movie that I really love, and I was not expecting that. I was not expecting to care about the Chucky character. There is no way that Brad Dourif could have voiced this version of the character. Mark Hamill was by far the perfect choice for this reinterpretation, because he is both sympathetic and creepy at the same time, and Brad Dourif's Charlie Lee Ray could in no way, shape, or form be sympathetic, because he's a serial killer. And while that version is fun to watch and is a blast in every movie that he's been in, this is a departure that is worth seeing. You know, the movie kind of starts out a little bit slow. A lot of the humor doesn't land. Audrey Plaza is fine. The actor who plays Andy is great. But a lot of the jokes are kind of cringeworthy at the very beginning, but once Andy and Chucky sort of meet and come into each other's lives, that's where the movie really starts to pick up. And I would love to talk about it more in depth, but I don't want to give too much away, because there was a lot that I genuinely wasn't expecting. Now, if you're a Chucky purist and you're not ready for a drastic change, like if you were pissed off about how Rob Zombie's Halloween was so different from John Carpenter's Halloween, then I think you're going to have a problem with this movie. And you know, I can understand that. I can understand if you don't want things to change. However, what would be the point of a remake if it was exactly the same? We would have another Poltergeist situation where the movie is just exactly the same as the original. There's no passion, there's no willingness to do something outside of the box, and this movie absolutely does that. It's not just a cash grab. It seems like the people behind the camera really gave a shit and wanted to tell a good and compelling story. And I was absolutely in love with what they did. And I think it is a worthwhile remake. It is as different from the original as John Carpenter's The Thing is different from The Thing from Another World. It's as different from Bela Lugosi's Dracula is to Gary Oldman's Dracula. And I would highly recommend it to people not familiar with the Child's Play franchise, and people who love the Child's Play franchise. Just kind of go into it with an open mind, be open to having something new, and kind of keep in mind that the 7 movies with Brad Dourif, they're not going away. They're still going to be there after you get out of the movie. This is just something that is different and trying to do its own thing. So Child's Play, what did you think? What's your favorite remake? Comment below, let me know. Thanks as always for watching. If you see the movie, make sure you let me know what you think. Thanks as always for watching. Bye.